Well, here we go. It's wide open. We got 1 day and 35 food plots. It's go time. You know, I think it's one important thing to bring up is like you can, you know, there's certain deer, but like you can do everything right, you know, and it works year in, year out. And then you can have, you know, one deer or whatever the case may be that you just cannot put him in that spot. You know, you mentioned it in a prior episode talking about if you'll focus on one deer and you can figure out a way to kill that deer, in the meantime, your whole entire property is benefiting from it. Absolutely. You know, because of the decisions you're making.
And that was me this year in the south, right here, right by my house. I've got a lease by the house. Greg Fitz and I have had it for 3 years. And there was a deer that the first year we had the lease, we knew he was a 3-year-old, sent pictures to all the neighbors, and we nicknamed him Barry. And he was special. He was special. Well, we're trying to shoot 5-year-olds, so the next year rolls around, we're doing everything right, we're planting, we're feeding and all that, and we're figuring out this place. And like I said, this is a lease, so it's not like Slade's Yard where we got a 10-acre food plot. Right. You know, this is like work with what you got.
So technically, Barry's kind of out of sight, out of mind right now.
Well, yeah, from a killing standpoint, okay, that's one. You have the deer that are hard to kill, usually because you don't see them a lot. That wasn't Barry. You can see him. You can see him a lot, and this deer is special, you know. And in the back of my mind, I knew how much he daylighted, which means not only is he special, he's killable. Yeah. And that's big.
But you have not played the game with him.
We haven't played the game of I got a sharp arrow and it's going through you because. So anyway, summer rolls around, and Barry really didn't live on us, and I'm saying a lot of this. And I didn't know it as much as I know it now. He didn't really live on us during the summer, but I said, I can get him on us during the summer, you know. So I went a couple different spots, couple different types of feeders, spin feeders, boss buck type gravity feeders, and tried to figure out, okay, what can I do to get Barry to feed him? That way, velvet season, October 1st, somewhere in there, he'll be there and I'll kill him. Well, cameras run all summer.
No Barry.
Barry not there.
Yeah.
They know when you're after.
I'm hunting. I remember it was opening day. I was trying to figure out what I was hunting that afternoon, October 1st, not velvet season. And I got to stand that afternoon like all of us doing. I got to looking. I zoomed in. I screenshot. I sent it to Craig. I said, what's that look like to you? And as I'm doing that, sitting in the stand that afternoon, he daylights. It was Barry. October 1st. No matter what we hunting, everything's off. Yep. We are focused on Barry, and hats off to my wife because she put up with a lot. It's kind of like when Nick Saban left for you and your wife.
Okay, had to throw that in there.
Look, let's just don't go there, okay?
So I had gone in during the summer, sprayed, killed everything, and planted Dixie 6 earlier because, like we talked about before. I knew that Barry was going to be there. That was my focus. So I got those plots in earlier. And I was okay if I put them in too early and they died. I was okay with committing to Barry and doing it again.
Yeah.
And something else, like we said earlier, these plots are small, like super small on this place. Like
quarter acre, half acre.
Half acres pushing the envelope.
Mm.
And so we're putting feed out in these areas. So I never forget, I had about 3 spots that he would really come to. Spin feeder, boss buck type of feeder. And I was sending you all these pictures every day. I'm like, here he is. And like, he just knew where I was. All right, and also I was trying to figure out, okay, I'm going to suck him into one spot. So I put out all different types of feed. I put out rice bran, game changer, sweet stuff. He's a game changer, man. like
you like that game changer?
I look at it on camera, but yep, that's what he's eating. And look, so then I got all my corn and protein in my feeder, and I doused it with that game changer. I made it smell real good. I was going in every day when I was hunting, and I was putting the game changer on my clothes. and doing everything I could. And
Which I will say, it's not highly recommended.
Big deer,
But you got to do what you got to
Big
do.
deer make you do
Slade
crazy.
was even trying to eat it.
You said you was taking Crave instead of
Yeah,
spraying on
and
your boots.
I do that. I documented all this too. I spray Crave. I do it right now. There's Crave in my yellow buggy right now. When I go by my feeder Salt Lick, because I spray it on my boots, and I've literally watched deer walk downwind and say, I smell him, but something ain't right. I come on in, and I've watched them do it. Big deer. I'll never forget. Went in there an hour and a half before daylight. I sit down. Everything's good. Wind's right. It's October, middle of October, early October. I'm looking around, does coming, feeders. Here he come. Here they come. I look. I said, oh yeah, big velvet berry coming in.
In October, still holding milk.
So I'm, as us who self-film. Oh, he held it till mid-October. Like, it was weird.
Yeah.
Anyway, as us who all self-film, I'm filming first.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I got him, and if I'm just hunting, he's dead. But
Chris, you take that same approach?
I'm like, boys, I got it. That's all I know.
I'm gonna tell y'all a good story, but you ain't gonna see that.
So I had the camera on him, and he walks in there, and if you're watching, when you watch this video, you'll say, why aren't you shooting? Why aren't you shooting? Well, I got a lot of cover, because I didn't have a lot of cover. I didn't cut a lot of limbs, and I'm putting the camera on him. I know more than put the tension on my string, and I feel the wind switch, and the doe back behind him blows, and he, and as he's walking off, I drew, and he didn't stop. And so that was my first experience with Barry, and I mean, like, he was dead.
How far was he then?
Oh, 18 yards.
Yeah.
Oh, I mean, he's right there.
Yeah,
And then you're regretting clicking at him, trying to stop.
Yeah, then your whole brain,
Everything's
your whole
shot.
brain goes crazy. So, second encounter with him, still in Velvet. Hunter's filming at this time. We're leaving to go to Iowa, land of the giants. Now, we postponed when we were going to leave because I said, I'm telling you, he's dying this afternoon. And we left after the hunt. Sure enough, big old rainstorm comes through, and it's one of those afternoons in the south was if the wind doesn't blow too hard, he's coming. You know that rain happens an hour before dark kind of deal. Rain stops, we slide in there. Well, that wind is still just every once in a while it'll blow 25 miles an hour, then it'll slow down, and the direction's good. So anyway, hour before dark, here comes Barry. He's about 70 yards walking in. I said, oh yeah, I'm up, I'm ready. Wind just blows, and how deer just get boogery. He boogered off, and then of course he came in after dark, and I had to watch him there at 10 yards after dark and walk off.
Oh.
And so then I had to go to Iowa. So of course, even though I'm hunting big giant deer in Iowa and Missouri, I'm
Watching your home camera.
You're thinking about Barry.
oh, and look, he's daylighting left and right.
Oh, yeah.
Gone.
It's like a girl you're on a date with, but that laughing just broke your heart. You know what I'm saying?
And so now we're into let me see, we're into November now because late October, early November. We're into November now, so all my Dixie 6 is coming up good. I'm sitting there, wind is blowing. Let me see, wind's blowing like this, flirting the wind.
I feel like Slade's sitting in the stand right now.
Oh, yeah.
I can take you there right now. Come a little 2-year-old 8-point, couple does back behind me, and I look back behind me at these does, and I'm kind of moving the camera around so I can get some pre-roll. There he is. He coming from straight behind me, which is good because the wind's here. Remember, I'm in a 13-year-old pine tree. I left cover because I knew some deer were going to walk down that road, so I couldn't shoot that road. Barry walks to 13 yards, 150-something inch deer in the south, 5-year-old, 13 yards, and I'm running the camera. I can't I can't move. A doe walks behind me, and I don't know if she saw me. If the thermals got her, she blew 41 times. I thought it was 20 until we went back and got it. 41 times when he was at 13 yards. And this was the lowest point of the story. Right before he sat there and tolerated it. He was just kind of like, what's going on? What's kind of like a soft edge.
He knew that was old blowing Betty's what he knew.
Anyway, and then when the 2-year-old 8-point in the field left, that's when he boogered. And this was the first time I think Barry ever knew I was hunting him. He went and looked and skedaddled. I mean, he was gone, and I was like, "That's it. He knows now." At this point, dude, I ain't gonna lie. I was second guessing myself. I'm like, maybe I'm not really a killer. maybe I really don't know what I'm doing and all this stuff. And the spot where he blew at me 41. I mean, the doe blew at me 41 times. daylight's middle of the afternoon. I'm sitting out of the stand. I was like, now I'm really second guess. I'm like,
Oh,
this
yeah.
dude knows my number.
Yeah.
He's got it figured
He's
out.
got-
But he's on his feet, man.
But anyway, so I
Because he
got,
ran.
I got on Onyx and I measured it. It was like, I think like 238 yards between these two spots.
Oh, man.
Man, that's awesome.
So it's like 238 yards, and I'm sitting there, and I never forget. I'm doing an interview, and I show the camera. I say, "Here, look, here he is. He's good news in. Barry's alive. He's daylight. Bad news is he ain't here." And I see some does coming out back corner of the field. And in the back of my mind, I'm thinking like maybe he could get here before dark. So I start video, and never forget the clip was 11 minutes long, and I'm videoing all these does doing their thing out in the field. And remember, this field's only a quarter acre. In the frame steps out Barry. in the frame with the does. Oh, here we go. So anyway, he slips up there. No doubt he was walking through the Dixie Six, and he was about to jump into the pen where I had the game changer with the corn, and he just for whatever reason started feeding my way.
I got him. 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 There he is down, baby. There he is down. I'm so pumped right now.
And I let that arrow go. I've killed a lot bigger deer and a lot of them, and there was no better feeling. I could have ran through a wall.
Yeah.
100%. I
Emotional
turned to the
attachment.
camera almost in tears. I'm feeling it now. It's like, I got it.
Something to live for. Something to live for. You can tear me down, but I'm gonna stick around. Something to live for.
It's so crazy because like we got a very similar story with a deer here, and we called him Barrel Rack, and he was. I mean, I would say the second year that we had the place, remember, it was just he was
They just
wraps all the way around,
huge 8-point.
150-inch 8-point. Like, and it's just you put him on the hit list immediately. I mean, we had him at 5, honestly, when we first saw him, and we're like, deer's mature. Could have been 4, but I mean, you know, to us, and they don't ever show us their birth certificate, so we had him at 5. But
Close enough.
yeah, and so it's kind of one of those deals like you're hunting him, but he's, you know, you're hunting other deer. It hadn't just become personal or anything. So it's just like, we'll put you in there.
If he walks out, he's gonna get shot. If
Yeah.
not, okay.
Yeah. Like it's not, you know, he's gonna show at some point. And for the most part here at the testing grounds, I mean, it's set up really good, and if you commit to them when they're killable, which I think is key.
Yeah.
You know, they daylight a couple times, they're leaving. I know I've learned a lot of this from Chris, but you know, if a deer shows up last light in the mornings and it's almost breaking, you know, and you're putting those scenarios together. He daylighted twice, he left right before daylight. Like, you're getting close to put a game plan on it.
Predictive
Yeah.
daylight
Yeah.
activity.
Right.
Yeah, so typical, we did everything just like that with Barrel Rack. 2 years later, we threw all that out the window. But, so he rides that year, nobody ever saw him. So we come in next year, it's like, hey, we need to target Barrel Rack. You know, I mean, this deer is a
Right.
stud. And we didn't really
We know he's going on 6.5, 7.5
yeah.
now.
So we went into Elfield, we did the shield, did the box stands, got everything where we can control the winds. Here's the wind, we're only going to hunt it here. And we had a small plot called Canal Plot. And it was in the WRP, had some oak trees growing, a beautiful plot, but it was probably, I don't know, half acre?
Yeah, maybe half an acre.
And So
Perfect
we were
size
like,
for bow hunting.
yeah,
Perfect
and he
bow
felt
hunting.
secluded, and I mean, it was just a perfect spot. So we're like, well, that's probably where he's gonna die there. So doing the whole flame kiss, mix and feed like you did, and keeping the feeders full, and he would daylight. I mean, it'd be 10:30 in the morning. Hey, he's at Canal Plot. Hey, he's at Elfield. Hey, and it wasn't a daylight problem, just like Barry, which is when you were telling me Barry story. It's like it's crazy.
And
how
all this
similar
is
they
300 or
are.
400 yard circle.
Yep.
I mean, it's not,
And
it's
so-
not a big area.
There was never a night in 3 years, I would think. I'll say less than 5. I'm sure there were some that I'm not thinking. But it wasn't ever where is Barrel Rack. You knew where he was. I mean, he was on cameras all the time. But when you'd go hunt him, Willie was kind of the first victim. And I was like, Willie, we need to target. Like, we need to commit to him and hunt him. And Joey was actually filming Willie. And, they hunted him hard, moving around. Hey, he's going to go here. He's at this feeder. Move there. He's at this plot. So we fast forward and we come in. Basically, at this table, it's me and Joey and everybody. It's Barrel Rack. Like, this is his year. Like, he's beat us at every game.
So
and,
he's like
and
7 or 8 at this point.
Yeah.
yeah, at least. I mean, I say that. I mean, he's 7 or 8 years old for sure. And I never will forget it. We're clipping. Joey's over there. We're filming something. We were going into Canal Plot to fill up a feeder, getting everything set up, but we were clipping. And I never will forget it. We just turned everything off. We're both sitting there. Without even saying it, we're both sitting there thinking, how's Barrel Rack gonna die?
Yeah.
And anyway, we go, both of us sitting there talking about it and said, we've got to put him in a position he has not been in. And these plots, he knows the game. It's right by the camp. You got to drive across the canal. You got to go back in there. Like, he knows the game. We got to figure out, you got Canal Plot, which is really small. And so he's beating us that. He knows you're there. I mean, he would disappear 4 days. So then you got Elfield, which we've done everything right. We've shielded. We've went Dixie 6. We went Big River. You've done all the changes. I mean, it's not that. And so there's a long strip that's all the way down the canal. And I said, man, our only hope is make a brand new food plot. We'll plant lazy acres. What came to our mind? We said we just want something green that'll come up. It's never been planted before, and so we plant lazy acre and make a long lane. Basically, hoping let's put flame kissed in the feeder, and we're gonna let that sit there.
And we're dealing with the drought, too.
Yep. And so we're gonna let it sit there, and when rut comes, we're gonna make a move. Well, I get a text one morning. Is actually the morning Barrel Rack dies. I get a text. He's like, dude, you're not gonna believe it. I'm looking at Barrel Rack, and it's in Elfield, which is the same it's been for years, but it's for whatever reason he's on his feet. He comes out the end of the
The only
plot,
place that he'd ever been seen
and
before.
Joey videos him walking straight out the end. So your instinct is he left there daylight, he bedded close, and comes back. Any other deer, we'd have played the same food plot.
But you said we done done that.
you
before.
said.
And me and Joey both, everybody's sitting there, it's like, yes, I mean, he ought to be back. It was actually Michael Oswalt, one of our business partners, was going to end up, he was kind of targeting and playing the game with it. And, instinct is, we're going back there, man, he's going to come. And me and Joey both go,
Go to Canal.
he's not doing it twice.
Yeah,
He's,
it's
he
like
is
that.
not doing it twice.
It's like that scene in Home Alone where them dudes are chasing that little kid all around the
Yeah.
house,
Yeah.
and they keep getting beat up. Finally, they said, "Hey, hang on, we ain't going back up there. We gonna go around.
Yep,
We ain't gonna
exactly.
keep playing his game."
Yeah.
Yep.
We're driving right back off in there, but we feel pretty good about it. It's now 3:45, and we got a lot of daylight left. We got another hour and a half. We'll see what happens. Joey's doe's coming out. Take the back of the lane. He's got to be close with him. I mean, ain't no doubt. The way he was acting earlier is acting like he was with him too. Ain't no doubt. Hey, buck behind the feeder. Buck. Is that? Yeah, that's him. Right there.
Just shot barrel.
Oh man.
You just shot.
We got barrel. Oh man. We called it, baby. We called it. I told Cody next Monday, baby.
Big barrel, baby. Yo. The legend is gone. Look at that sucker there.
That is a stool. Be interested to see how old he is, because I know we've been hunting him for 3 or 4 years trying to get him.
That's freaking awesome. Look at that bean, dude.
Yeah. I mean, that's good. It goes back around in too. Well, selling real estate this morning, killing
I was selling it in the deer stand.
Might lost a client, but you got better.
I had to hang up on somebody. I got to call him back.
Yeah. You said you texted him. He said he's all right.
Yeah.